Hello and welcome to the channel, Gavaxman Spins. A shorter video today. This is one of those thread videos that everyone kind of has a bash at. Good one, this one. I have made notes so I remember what I'm supposed to be doing. So this was a little challenge to celebrate a 4th year anniversary of a channel by Chris, who's at Rekid Talk, so REKKIDTALK. So if you want to head over to his channel and say hi, yeah, so he's done 4 years, so well done to Chris. And he set a little challenge around 7-inch singles, which, I don't know about you guys, but when I first started buying records back in 80 something, they were the first bits of music that I went out and bought and owned, and over the years you kind of, I won't say fall out of love with them, but they do tend to get neglected. And probably if there's any area of my collection that's been kind of traded in, I've been quite tough on, it's the old 7 inches. So when they got a little bit bigger and there was stuff in there I wasn't too bothered about, off it went to be traded in for Partex for albums. I used to do that all the time. So a lot of my early 80s singles have not survived the years, but a select few have. So probably of my more favourite bands. So without further ado, I will show you some 7 inches. So I've watched a few videos. Hopefully the ones I'm going to show have not cropped up already. So I've watched Dave Atkinson's, Mike at the Vinyl Spiral, and John the 6-inch Pianists. So I think I've managed to avoid anything they've shown. So the first one to show was a Call sleeve. So I've picked the Mighty Cult, so with Little Devil. All of the single sleeves from the Electric album were cool, but I do kind of like that one with the lizard. So hopefully you can see that there. That, I think we can all agree, is a cool sleeve. Next one will show a record company bag. So one of my favourite kind of artists is the Morrissey, who has a habit of reviving old labels. So like he's used the Parlophone label, Major Minor, you name it, he's done it. So and occasionally he does use an old record company bag. So for the reissue of Every Day's Like Sunday, he dug out the Major Minor company sleeve. So that's one of those, which is pretty cool, I think you'll agree. And he does like to dig stuff up to Attack Records, I think, for the Quarry album and things like that. So he's a bit of an archivist. The next one, strange one, got to watch the double entendres, but Small Hole v Little Hole. So here's an example of a Small Hole, the Mighty New Order and Procession. And those came in loads of different kind of variants. I think there's about 6 or 7. So that's that one. And then a big hole, here we go, is this one, which has an adapter in, but that's an example of a big hole, which I think is more of an American thing, particularly for jukeboxes. But question 4 was coloured vinyl. So this one, which is a big hole, is on lovely yellow vinyl. And that is the Led Zeppelin record store day thing of Rock and Roll and Friends, which are a couple of exclusive mixes to that. So despite buying all those big box sets, you still had to buy that if you wanted to get those 2 alternate mixes of the Mighty Zepp. So don't get many Zepp singles, that's the only one I've got of theirs. 5, parallel lines. So this one is lines on records where there's kind of writing on the label which is parallel, I think. So this is actually my dad's. This is one of the few records I've managed to keep of his. So you can actually see his initials up there for PN. So Spencer Davis Group and Keep On Running. And I think you can agree there are parallel lines just below the A on that there. So and a Birmingham artist as well. So Spencer Davis Group, the Mighty Keep On Running. Number 6 is show a cool label. So when you're collecting records initially, there were a couple of cool labels, aren't there? So there's Vertigo Swirls, they're cool. The yellow and black Beatles Parlophones are pretty cool, aren't they? Creation Records in more modern times. Trying to think of some others, but for me, when I first started buying records, there was none more cool than Harvest. So this is, believe it or not, the first record I ever had by this band, and it's one that doesn't get a lot of love. So it's Pink Floyd and Not Now John. which I've still got from back in the day, and they don't put this on comps. It's never rarely mentioned. I always thought this was a great track, but what was even better about it, it actually came on a little Harvest Records 7-inch. So I think Harvest Records are pretty darn cool, so I'm quite happy to have that one. So that's been with me for many years. And then question 7 was the last of the questions. So show some albums that singles, sorry, that you bought cheap that might be worth money. And I've chosen 2 to give you the example of collecting not for money but because you love something. So I'll show you the Mighty Jam with Funeral Pyre. So that one was less than £1, and it's worth a whole £3. So less than £1, worth not a lot, but it is a 300% markup, I suppose you could say, but a great song. Now another band, and this is an interesting one. So back in the day I used to buy a lot of my singles on chart return. So what would happen is, particularly with companies like Woolworths, I think Boots the Chemist, WH Smiths in the UK used to do this. So when the charts kind of refreshed, I think on a Tuesday or something like that, anything that dropped out the top 75, they would then put in the chart return bin. So instead of like, you know, 1.99, it might be 99p. Sometimes if you were lucky, they might be like 49p, something like that. I actually had a mate who got a job in Woolworths purely so he could work in the record department and get first dibs on those chart return kind of things. So they knocked the 12 inches down, they knocked the 7 inches down. So you used to have to play a bit of poker, that if you wanted something and you couldn't quite afford it with, you know, your paper round money and something like that, did you take the risk of waiting for it to hit the chart return bins? Because I would imagine there were lots of people on a Wednesday morning shot up to Woolworths and rifled through them. So this is one of my chart return ones. So the Mighty Smiths with the even mightier Panic, and I love the Smiths because I think the artwork's always brilliant, but things like the attention to detail on the label, they always use slightly different colours and stuff like that. But great band. So that one was less than 50p. The Jam's worth £3, which is an older record. This one on Discogs, according to Discogs, is worth about £18 now. So the Smith stuff is just going up and up and up in value. So I thought I'd finish with a bit of the Morrissey and an £18 single that originally cost less than 50p, that one. B-side Vicar in a Tutu, for those that want to know. I thought I'd just finish with one quick mention. Sadly this week in the UK, the news broke that Mike Peters of The Alarm passed away. So behind me there you can see the album Change, and that's a great album because it also came with a free 7-inch single, which is just over there. So sad news. So The Alarm were one of those bands that I took a little bit for granted, but always kind of liked them without being like a mega fan. But it was quite sad news this week. So you know, condolences to, you know, friends and family and fans as well, because they were a great live band, and Spirit of 76 was one of those great singles, which seems appropriate as that's what we're talking about. So there you go. That's the 7-inch challenge. I think it was supposed to be under 7 minutes, but you know, this is the extended 12-inch mix. But thank you for watching. Hopefully see you on the next one. Gavaxman Spins, over and out.